Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Narrow. And you can see Sleuth for some reason walking a tightrope. And I guess it's such a circus stunt that he's doing this over a city that's filled with circuses. Not entirely sure what's going on. Now this particular puzzle is got again a bit of a twist on our variant rule sets. 2-star difficulty rated puzzle from Jobo. And I'll be honest, it looks a little bit intimidating. Very narrow set of rules, very appropriately named title. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets. So we've got Narrow by Jobo. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box. Here's where it's about to get interesting. Digits along an arrow must sum to the digit in that arrow circle. Fair enough. So if this cell here was a 2, this could be a 4, for example, and this would be a 6, so that the 2 cells are on the arrow sum to whatever's inside the circle. They could be in any order. That could be the 2, that could be the 4, for example. That would be absolutely fine. Then we have a bunch of interesting rules. Digits on arrows cannot repeat. So is that a useful thing? Not really, because I think this cell clearly is not the same as that one, given these two have to sum up to whatever this is, and that's not a 0. So in general, we kind of knew that the digits on these arrows are not repeating. The second part is what's really interesting. So no 2 digits on an arrow, including the bulb, can be consecutive, regardless of their order on the arrow. So if this cell here was a 2, I couldn't put a 3, for example, because that would be consecutive. I could actually try and demonstrate it with something else. I could do 1, 3, and 4. That would also still break because the 3 and the 4 are consecutive. So that's going to immensely narrow the options that we have on these arrow sums. Hence the title, Narrow. So if you're feeling a bit confused, don't worry. You're not alone. I'm very much feeling like Sleuth who's walking a tightrope right now, trying to figure out what's going on. But anyhow, before I start trying to figure out what's going on, what I should say is you can do so yourself with a link in the description down below. And if you are a bit stuck, carry on watching because I'm about to try and give this a solve now. Let me restart the clock. Right. So I wanted to restart the clock fairly quickly because I think I spotted something. You can never have a 1 on any of these because the nature of, well, not the 3-cell ones, but the nature of 1 on a 2-cell one will mean that whatever's in the circle will be consecutive with whatever the other digit is that's not a 1. So no 1s on 2-cell arrows. Which actually means that the minimum, because, so if there's no 1s, well, the next one along is 2. The next one along, because it can't be consecutive, would be 4. So it actually means that all of these arrows, yeah, that's probably worthwhile pencil marking. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it means that every single one of these is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Yeah, I'm good with that. What about 3 cells? So 3 cells has to have a 1. Because if I don't have a 1 on here, the minimum would be 2, 3, 4. That's already consecutive, and that would be a 9. And I can't go any higher than 2, 3, 4. So definitely a 1. Skip 1, definitely a 3. Skip 1, definitely a 5. And that's already at 9. So essentially, the 3-cell 1s are always 9. So these are 9s, which means that's not a 9. Interestingly, we're actually quite restricted here now. So this is either 2, 4 for a 6 or 2, 6 for an 8. That's my option. So there's always a 2. It also means that there's always a 6 on the bottom row here. And then whatever is left, so if this is 2, 4, that would be 6, that would be 7, 8. Doable. Is it? No, I don't think it is, actually. Let me show you. This is probably easier demonstrated. 2, 4, 6. Right. 7 and 8 are... Oh, of course, I could actually get away with a 9. Sorry, I thought for a second that means that this would be a 6, and then that would require 2 and 4, which wouldn't have been possible. But that's not true. I can actually place a 9 in here, and that would be fine. Sorry, I raced ahead there for a second, thinking I had an interesting... No 2 in here, which means the next one along is 3, and then it's 5 or 6, and it's not 6. So this is 3, 5. That's another 8. 8 can't be in here anymore. That's got to be an 8. That can't have a 4 anymore. This is a 2, 6 pair, and this is 4, 7. This is not 7 or 8. Still is a 9 possibility. Interesting. It's a fascinating puzzle. Not 8 either. Not 9 either. I mean, I'm just doing simple Sudokus, really. It's not very helpful. So we've demonstrated that I don't have to have a 2. I can get away with no 2s on these 2-cell arrows. In fact, the fact that there is no, I can still do 3, 6, for example, with a 9. I was tempted to say that there has to be a 2 in here because it can't add up to 8. But I could do 3, 6, 9, 5, 3, and that would be fine. Where am I going next? This is a... I mean, I made tons of progress very quickly. Is it all about ones? That was sort of the temptation when I looked at this, is that this is about ones. You can essentially color a whole bunch of cells in there, because we said that the ones cannot be on any of the arrows that are 2 cells. So none of these cells are 1. Not very useful. I was kind of just looking for any Sudoku trickery, but I'm not seeing it. Another interesting thing we could say is I just realized that you can't have an 8 on any of the arrows because it would require a 1 with it, and then that would make a consecutive digit a 9. So no 8s on any of these. I mean, no 8s in any of these for that matter. I don't know what's going on. Two, 6, and 3, 5 are all gone from this cell, and we already said it can't be a 1. So if it's not 1, the next available digit would be a 4. And I can't go higher, surely. 4, 5, 6. I could go higher with a 7 in here, which I think, given the options of 6 and 9, always places a 2. Interestingly. Because it's either 2, 4 to get to 6 or 2, 7 to get to 9. And this can't be an 8, and it can't be any of the other digits. Yeah, so that looks fine. No 2 on here, no 1 on here. And if I don't use a 3, the next 2 digits will be 4 and 5, which are consecutive, so it has to have a 3. And therefore these are not 3s, that's a 3. There's no 5 anymore in here, so this is a 3, 6 pair with a 9. That's not a 9. Fascinating puzzle. So I guess I kind of need to do what I did here, which is use Sudoku to restrict the options sufficiently to sort of keep making progress. It's just going to keep, it's going to have to be iterative. No ones, we kind of knew that anyway. One is one of two cells, it's just not very useful. Not useful at all, really. Places a one down here, again, not very useful. It's just two is none of these cells. Two is in here. Three, yeah, Sudoku Sleuth. Sudoku is your friend, and you keep ignoring it all the time. That is interesting. One now in box 6. Well, it's none of these. None of these. It has to be in here, which limits the 1 to there. The 2 in here, I think means we can't get to 6, because the only way we can get to 6 is 2, 4. 1, 5 doesn't work because the 5 and 6 are consecutive, so 6 is out. No 2 places at least a 3, and this is a 7. 3, 4 doesn't work, so this is 3, 5, this is another 8. That 3 gives me the 5, the 3, the 1, the 5. You know, digits appear almost like out of thin air, and you're just thinking, how is this working? It just almost doesn't make sense. Come on, more Sudoku. 3 is one of these two cells. What does that mean? If it's on here, that can't be a 2. It would have to be at least a 5. And it can't be a 5. It would be 3, 6, and that would be a 9. Which, to be fair, is like quite possible. Fives, no 5s. Can 5, I mean 5 is definitely in these 3 cells, but can it be on here? Sure, I can put a 2 and a 7, or a 3 and an 8. I mean, not really very helpful. Not very helpful, but I mean, I'm unusually, I think you've seen me in general avoid pencil marking a ton because I tend to struggle to see things. But I think on this particular puzzle, it's just so different. I'm going to kind of use every advantage I can get. 8s maybe, no 8s, not really. Can I be a bit more systematic? 1s and 5 are here. That means the 5, this is actually a 1-5 pair. This is another 1-5 pair, because these are not 1s and 5, and these are not 1s and 5, so that's a 1-5 pair. That does give me a whole bunch of digits I should be able to just place. 1, 2, 3 is 4, 7, and 8. And then I have 2 remaining digits, 2 and 6, I'm going to say, between these 2 cells. 9 now can't be any of these cells. That's the only place for a 9. Therefore, this is a 7. Essentially, I have a second 1-5 in this row. Oh, no, I don't. I have a 3-5 pair. That's a 1, that's a 5. The second 2-6 is not here. It could be any of these two. Essentially, what are the remaining 2 digits that I need in here? 4 and 9? That can't be a 9. That's a 4. That's a 9. Yep. More Sudoku, please, Sleuth. Here's another 2, 6, and an 8. That 8 can't be here. That's the 8. That's 2, 6. There's a second 2, 6 in here, plus a 1. Okay. Oh, 3, 6, 2, 6. Sorry. 1, 6. Then 2, 4, and 7. Like I said, the digits are just appearing out of like thin air. It's just, you look at the puzzle and then digits appear. It's just incredible. 2, 7, but they're not easy digits. I just want to emphasize that. You really do have to work for it. So 1, 2, 3, we need 4, 6, and 8. That's not an 8. Okay. More progress than I was expecting. Oh, no 9 in here, which I think means it has to have a 2 in here. Otherwise, yeah, if it's not a 2, it's 3, and then I can't have 4 to get to 7. So there's a definite 2. So this is 2, 4, or 5 with a definite 2. I was about to say the 5s are lining up. That's not true. It's not true at all. Not a 2. So if this is 2, 4, that's 7. If that's 2, 5, that's 3. I mean, there's a lot of relationships, but not quite sure how to use it to make progress here. No. The absence of a 3, I think, forces this to be a 2. Because if I'm not using 2, and I know we can't use 1, I'll be left with 4, and then the only available digit will be a 5, which will be consecutive to get to 9. So there has to be a 2 in here. That's not a 2. That is a 2. Now, my options again are 2, 4 to get to a 6. That's not the 2, by the way. So my options are 4 to get to 6. 5 is not available, so 7 is gone. And then 2 and 7, presumably, which gives me a 4, 7 pair. 7 gave me a 4, gave me a 7, gave me a 4. Remove the 4 option from here. That's a 2, 5 pair. That's a 7. That's a 6. That's not 6. Again, we'll come back to that. 2 is eliminated here. 2 is eliminated there. One of these cells now is a 2. If that's a 2, that's a minimum of 6. Can't be 3 consecutive. Can't be 4 because that would be a 6. Can't be 5. So it'd be 2, 6, and 8, or 2, 7, and 9. Yeah, so these are my options, are 3, 6 to get to 9, or 2, 5 is fine. 2, 5? No, not 5. 2, 6. So 7 is no longer an option anymore, and 2, 7 to get to 9 again. Interesting. The second 8, 9 is not here, just because of these 8s and 9s. And it's not there because of these 8 and 9, so it's essentially going to be one of these two cells. Sorry, 2, 5, 3, 5. Wakey, wakey. This is 1, 3, 9, I'm going to say. Not a 9. These 3 digits are now known. They are 4, which is not in here, 6 and 8, and the 8 is not in these two cells. That's the 8. This is a 4, 6 pair, which gives me a 1, gives me a 6. Again, more Sudoku sleuth. That places, I know this one, a 5, which gives me a 1, gives me a 5. These 3 cells now are 1, 7, and 9. And they're all on different rows, of course, but I will still pencil mark. Like I said, not my normal style, but seems to be working for this puzzle. 7, not 7. 8, not 8. Can't do anything with the 4. That's fine. 4, not 4. 4, 6, and 8 again are on different rows and nothing going on in here. Right, one thing we haven't done is we haven't really thought about this particular arrow much. And we should. So, either there is a 2 or there isn't. If there isn't a 2, it would have to be a 3 and a 5 to get to an 8. And it would have to be in this direction because of this 5. If it doesn't have a 3, it will have to have a 2. And if it has a 2, well, it could be either of these as far as I could tell. I could put 2, 4. I could put 2, 5. So 2, 4 with a 6, which could be either direction. I could probably even do 2, 6. 2, 6, 8, 4, 5. Yeah, so like this doesn't feel right. Just double check Sudoku again if there's any freebies, so to speak. So essentially we have another 1, 9 and another 6, 8 to complete the row. And if I'm honest, I'm just not seeing how this is meant to help. Can we place all the ones yet? I think the answer to that is no. We actually placed like remarkably few of the ones. 2. Yeah, not a lot. 3s we've had a bit. No, it's all in my head. I'm imagining that we've placed a ton of digits and we haven't. So what's interesting is once you, like another thing that I just never really thought about is every single one of these 2-cell arrows either has a 2 or has a 3, not both. And if you don't have either, of course, then it would be 4 and then 5 and then 9, and obviously I've broken the rule set. So it's got to have 2 or 3. And if it's 2 in here, so if there's a 2, that's 5, that's 1, that's 3. If it's a 3 in here, that's 1, that's 5, that's 2. So in a way I have like a virtual, is that quadruple? 1, 2, 3, 5? Yeah, something along those lines. Then I'm left with 4, 6, 7, and 8. And I can't do 2, 4 to get to a 6 because I would have broken this cell. That was obvious. So 2, 4 is off the table, and therefore 6 in here is off the table. 2, 5 is off the table because it would break this cell, so 7 is off the table. So this is 8. And my options are 3, 5, and 2, 6. No 7. Yeah, no 7. So where is 7 in all of these cells? Because I can't have 1 and 7. That would be consecutive. That's got to be a 7. That's got to be the 4. That's got to be a 6. That's got to be a 4. And I've got to have the 6 on here now because it's nowhere else in the row. So this is 2, 6. And therefore this is a 5, 1, 3. I don't know if that's a solution path. Once again, this just feels like you really needed to understand these rule sets to try and actually sort of make any kind of progress. Unfortunately, the 2s don't really line up at all. Nor do the 6s, other than the 2, 6 pair that's in here. But we've kind of done all of the variants at this point. Kind of. I mean, this one we haven't really done much with. So I know we haven't, I say we haven't done much. We've done a ton with, but it's still not enough. So we're going to have to do something further here. Oh, that 5 gave me another 5. So there's either a 2 or a 3. And the 3 is always joint with the 6, making this a 2. If this is a 2, it would have to go with the 7 because I can't do 2, 6 anymore. It would break this cell. So this can't be a 6 because it's either 2, 7 or 3, 6, and it will always be a 9. Therefore, that's a 7, that's a 1, that's a 9. Is that helping me across at all? No. That 6 gave me a 2 in here if I paid attention, and therefore that's a 7, that's a 6, 6, 2, 6, 2, 4, 7. I think we've got it. That's got to be a 3 based on my pencil marks if I trust them. That's a 4, 6. This is not a 6. This is 4, 8. It's not an 8. Because of this 8. That's 8. That's 6, 4, 6. I think we're on the home stretch. 8 and 1. I think that's not 7, no. I was about to say it is 7. It's not. That's 3. That's 6. That's 3. Hasn't resolved my 1, 9. That's fine. 2s were done. 3 were done. 4 is in here. This cell is known. That's got to be a 1. That resolves a 9 and 1. And we're pretty much nearly done. If I've not made any mistakes, 7 for the solution. What a phenomenal puzzle, Jobo. Very different. Very different. So I'd be interested to hear if kind of the resolution or the solve path, if you guys had to do the same shenanigans that I did there in the bottom 3 boxes with the 826. But that was there with the taking given the rule sets. But what a fantastic and fascinating puzzle. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. We still haven't done any quality cages for this weekend. I will probably do... I'll take a look. I may do a 1-star difficulty one for Sunday evening so that you guys can actually head into the week with a nice smooth solve. Gobbler was a really, really kind constructor. He actually created a puzzle for 2,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, subscribe so we can actually reveal the puzzle the man has constructed. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle in the video. Bye-bye for now.